Hello and welcome to the live broadcast of News Live here on Viewer Television. My name is Philip Slippen. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law the Copyright Act 2022 and one other bill recently passed by the National Assembly. Also signed was the Federal College of Medical Laboratory Science and Technology JOS Act 2023. The Senior Special Assistant to the President of National Assembly Matters, House of Representatives, Honorable Nasru Babale Ile, who made this known in a statement on Thursday, said the two bills were assented to by the President on March 17th. Now, the statement said the Copyright Act 2022, which repeals the Copyright Act cap laws of the Federation of Nigeria, provides for the regulation, protection, and administration of copyright. Ila said the enactment of the new Copyright Act has demonstrated the commitment of Buhari's administration to re-energize Nigeria's creative economy and making it more globally competitive in the digital age. Following the unprecedented achievements of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in recent years, the men and officers of the Anti-Drug Agency have been open to consistent harassment and threats to their lives by perpetrators of the drug crimes. The federal government has therefore approved the award of contract for the construction of suitable barracks accommodation of over 192 ranges of flats for officers and men of the NDLEA to be situated in the nation's capital. Addressing State House correspondents after this week's Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, said this approval is part of measures to provide security for the narcotics officers and agents.
Where there has been renewed and sustained onslaught against drug cartels and barons over time. Within the 3 quarters of 2023, about 18,940 arrests were effected by the NDLEA, and indeed drugs. These successes that were recorded, unfortunately, translated to unprecedented threats and attacks on personnel, officers, men, and other ranks of the agency. And then the need has arisen for the federal government to consider the possibility of taking security measures that will now provide the desired protection.
The Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello has urged Muslims faithful to dedicate the Ramadan season to pray fervently for the state and country in general. Governor Bello, who congratulated the Muslim Ummah on the sighting of the moon, which signifies the commencement of this year's Ramadan fast, charged the Muslims to align themselves with the universal values of peace, kindness, love, and respect for others, which the Islamic faith promotes. In a press statement issued in Lokoja by his Chief Press Secretary, Onogu Muhammad, said the Ramadan period, which is globally revered, should be utilized by Muslim faithfuls across the nation to pray for progress and peace, while admonishing them to engage in good deeds and acts of ibadah. Bello called on Muslims to devote more time to pray and act of charity, as they similarly strive to improve their self-discipline motivated by hadith. The federal government of Nigeria has presented a new curriculum on child rights reporting for polytechnics in Nigeria for effective dissemination of information by the media. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alaya Muhammad, at a 2-day media training organized by the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, said the instructional guide was developed to fill the knowledge gap on children's rights for journalists and communication schools. He said knowledge of the curriculum and its factual reporting will expose children to their rights to survival, development, protection, and participation. Now, meanwhile, the Chief of Field Office, UNICEF in Enugu, Juliet Chuluwe, said communicating children's rights remains a challenge considering the broad range of abuses against children as a result of ignorance of what constitutes the rights of children. She said the media reserves a critical role in communicating and ensuring the widespread of information on issues of the Child Rights Act. The House of Representatives has considered and approved legislation that made provisions to amend the administration and management of customs and excise in Nigeria. The bill seeks to repeal the reenactment of the 63-year-old customs and excise laws that have been in operation in Nigeria. Some of the reforms in the enacted legislation relating to issues of funding, the appointment of the Controller General of Customs, and the recruitment of personnel for the service. Now, an overriding benefit of the reform is enabling an increase in revenue generation for Nigerians from operation of the customs.
Has complained that the chairman of the board supposed to be the minister, not a retired deputy controller general of customs, which we corrected here. So the mistake then was that anywhere board appeared, supposed to be changed to minister. When they were doing the cleaning, they didn't do that. So that was why they brought it back.
And now we're going to break, and when we return, we'll be looking at Senator Ike Ekweremadu has been found guilty of organ trafficking in Britain. We have details of this and more after this break.
Gentlemen, I'm at the Envoy Hotel, Diplomatic Drive 305, here for a business weekend. It's been an amazing stay. Conference hall and business facilities here are stylish and innovative. The Envoy Hotel is luxury, esoteric, opulent, for ultimate comfort.
are more than just a place to stay. We are an icon of comfort, style, and thoughtful luxury. We are Envoy Hotel.
Advertise your products and services on our platform. Viewer Television is here to give your business a boost with a touch of professionalism. If you're a brand owner, entrepreneur, proud business owner, let's place your business in the face of your customers. Contact us so we can talk business on 081-2121-2278 or info@viewertv.com.ng. Always remember, we are here for you.
In this 21st century where all the information we need is now in the palm of our hands. News from around the world, entertainment, celebrity gossip, sports, and much more. The only thing that you need is the right source. Viewer TV is now on the go. Simply check us out on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter for all the information you need.
Souls came together. Two souls came together. There I know.
Well, it's so good to know that you are still with us on News Live. Or if you're just joining us, this is News Live on Viewer Television, and here are our top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari signs copyright bill to protect authors and toughen sanctions also. Federal government approves contract for construction of barracks for national drug law enforcement agencies. Away from Nigeria, the United Kingdom collates names of Nigerians for visa ban over electoral crimes. Moving forward, the Nigerian politician has been found guilty of organ trafficking in Britain in the first case of its kind. Senator Ike Ekweremadu's wife Beatrice and middleman Dr. Obinna Obeta were all found guilty of conspiring to exploit a young man from Lagos for an organ. It is the first time defendants have been convicted under the Modern Slavery Act of an organ harvesting conspiracy. Their daughter Sonia burst out in tears as the jury, which deliberated for nearly 14 hours, cleared her of the same charge. According to UK Guardian, Ikweremadu and co-criminally conspired to bring the 21-year-old Lagos street trader to London to exploit him for his kidney. Prosecutor Hugh Davis Casey told the court that Ikweremadu's and Obeta had treated the man and other potential donors as disposable assets, spare parts for reward. He said they entered an emotional, cold commercial transaction with the man. The All Progressive Congress in Guadabawa ward of the Yola North local government area of Adamawa State has suspended the secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa. The executives of the ward made this known while addressing the media at the Guadabawa ward office in Yola, the Adamawa State capital. According to them, the SGF failed to assist the party at the ward level in the 2023 general elections. They alleged that Mustafa did not give a helping hand during the presidential and governorship elections in the state. The secretary of the APC in the ward, Abdul Karim Nuhu, however, did not state when the suspension will end.
I want to officially announce the suspension of the SGF, Mr. Boss Gida Mustafa, from the party. Based on the report came to us, the suspension of Mr. Boss Gida Mustafa from all progressive APC. With regard to the above subject matter, we wish to bring to your notice that the entire party executive of APC Godobawa Ward, Jamaica, have earnestly reached a consensus of suspending the information person partaking in all the party activities. The suspension is due to the following reason. 1. Is unable to assist the party in any means at the ward level when its attention was needed deadly as a ward member who cast his vote at unit 002. Second, inability to recognize the presence and importance of the ward ESCO despite the intervention of Jagaban Jingets and Mr. Sonim Sylvester Monidape in settling the dispute in Godobawa ward.
Colonel Kefas Agbu, the recently elected governor of Taraba State, swears to uphold Tarabans' trust in him. The governor made the pledge in a broadcast held in Jalingo, the state capital. We have Linda Gwana with the report.
While making the broadcast, the governor-elect expressed his gratitude to the people of the state for coming out en masse to vote for him. He promises that he is going to fulfill all his campaign promises for the betterment of the state.
I accept the mandate you placed in my hands with the whole of my heart. And I promise not to take your confidence, support, and trust for granted. So, help me God. I accept this responsibility and I promise to govern the state with the total fear of God. I'll be fair and just in running the affairs of Taraba State, and the people will be treated equally, irrespective of ethnicity, religion, and political affiliation, with God helping me on this mandate.
He urges the other competitors to join him and join hands to form a better Taraba, declaring that the state belongs to them all.
For my fellow contestants, the elections have come and gone. As such, I am soliciting for your support and understanding for us to build a new Taraba. Let me assure the good people of Taraba State that I am conscious of all the promises I made during my campaign. By the grace of God, I will fulfill all of the promises. I acknowledge the role played by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, on whose platform we won this election. I wish to commend the effort of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, security agencies, the media, and other stakeholders for the sacrifices and all that they put in to ensure a transparent and credible election.
Aboki first won the state election that held the new governor of the state, Lindugana, VOA TV News, Jalingo.
And to Zamfara State, the Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle has conceded defeat in Saturday's governorship elections in the state and asked for forgiveness from the people of the state for whatever he might have done wrongly. Matawalle, who is of the All Progressive Congress, was defeated by the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Dauda Lawal Dare. In an audio message to the people of the state, Governor Matawalle said he and all his supporters have to submit to the will of Almighty Allah, as things happen only by His will. He said when his administration came on board, he met with all major stakeholders in the state on how best they could restore lasting peace to the state through peace dialogues, adding that up till today there is nothing more challenging than insecurity bedeviling the state. The governorship election held on the 18th of March did not meet the expectations of many, as some group of women stormed the Nigerian Union of Journalists Secretariat Solidarity chant in Kaduna, demanding for press to tell the world about their stolen mandate and disenfranchisement suffered during the poll. The women drawn from various local governments and political parties in Kaduna are calling for international organizations to intervene should the judiciary fails to provide justice.
We want justice. All we need is justice. We need justice. And we should remember that we are serving a living God. And that God is going to punish anybody that is not doing what is right. They take everything away from us. This is not democracy. What they do is not democracy. Why did they tell us not to go and vote? That they have person that they will give the power, and they ask us to go and vote. After voting, they give the power to the person that they want to give. We refuse that, and we are not accepting that. Is that true? Yes. We are not accepting that. So we need justice in Kaduna State.
But during the election, we have 23 local governments in Kaduna. As we are saying now, we have 20 members, House of Assembly. While we have 3 senators, we have 10 reps. How will they say they win the election? On that very day of this, the election day, in INEC office, they deploy soldiers, battalion of soldiers. We have Meduguri, we have Brningwari, so that they couldn't go there. Why they came here? They want to come and fight with us? That they will shoot us? Because we want our mandate, or what we want our mandate. Is that I should want this election, or what we want our mandate.
And now we'll go to business, international, and entertainment news. Don't go nowhere. And on business, the Federation Account Allocation Committee has shared the sum of 722.677 billion naira to the federal government, states, and local government councils. This was contained in a communique issued at the end of the FAC meeting in Abuja. According to the communique, sent to the media by the Director of Press and Public Relations of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Bawa Mokwa, the funds came from Federation revenue for the month of February. In February 2023, the total deduction for cost of collection was 27.449 billion naira, and total deductions for transfers, savings, recoveries, and refunds was 109.909 billion naira out of the total distributable revenue of 722.677 billion naira. The federal government received 269.063 billion naira. The state government received 236.464 billion naira, and the local government councils received 173.936 billion naira. The Federal Executive Council has approved the sum of 453.90 billion naira for the procurement of rolling stock, operation, and maintenance equipment for the Kano-Maradi standard gauge rail line currently under construction. The amount also includes 510.93 million naira meant for procuring 4 customized fire service research and rescue vans in seaports at Port Harcourt, Lagos Port Complex, Tinkan Island Port, and the Marina headquarters of the Nigerian Port Authority. The Minister of Transportation, Muazu Sambo, disclosed this to State House correspondents after this week's council meeting chaired by President Muhammadu Buhari at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Kicked off in 2021, the 248-kilometer rail line will traverse Kano, other cities such as Kazaure in Bauchi State, Daura and Mishin Katsina State, Dutse in Jigawa State, and border town of Jibia before terminating in Niger Republic's trade and agricultural hub of Maradi. The sustained rise in inflation and interest rates has triggered significant rise in pension funds investments in federal government securities to 9.6 trillion naira in 2022. Now about 9.9% higher than 8.7 trillion naira recorded in 2021. Analysts said the rise will continue in 2023 given the continued rise in both inflation and interest rate. The federal government securities include federal government bonds, treasury bills, agency bonds, sukuk, and green bonds. Inflation has been on the rise in the past 8 months, hitting the 17-year high of 21.91% last month, while interest rate has equally been on the rise as the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, continues to hike monetary policy rate, hitting 18% this week. In a bid to fight inflation, the MPR is the benchmark for determining the interest rates charged by banks. The Central Bank of Nigeria has finally concluded plans to release all 1,000 naira, 500 naira, and 200 naira notes in its custody to deposit money banks. The decision is expected to end months of hardship and pains Nigerians have been going through following a controversial CBN Naira redesign policy that has caused a severe shortage of old and new Naira notes across the country. The CBN's latest decision came several weeks after the Supreme Court ordered that all 1,000 Naira, 500 Naira, and 200 Naira notes should remain legal tender until December 31st, 2023. However, top officials of the CBN and the commercial banks confirmed to newsmen that the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele had directed the DMPs to begin the disbursement of old 1,000 Naira, 500 Naira, and 200 Naira notes to members of the public effective Thursday. According to him, the CBN will also start releasing old notes to commercial banks. The United Kingdom said it had embarked on an exercise of collating information with the aim to impose visa bans and other sanctions against politicians that engage in electoral fraud and anti-democratic exercises. According to the UK, the individuals to be punished were those who engage in violence and voter suppression in the governorship and state assembly elections in Nigeria. In a statement by the British High Commission in Abuja, the UK said there were positives to take away from the elections, but note that violence and voter suppressions were observed in many states, including Lagos, Enugu, and Rivers. Now, the UK was following suit initiated earlier by the United States in condemning the use of inflammatory ethno-religious language by some public and political figures. The British High Commission said these are positive markers to build on for future elections. The Prince of Wales has paid tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice as he visited a war memorial during a visit to Poland. On the second day of his surprise visit to the country, Prince William laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier in Warsaw, the monument dedicated to Polish soldiers who have died in conflict. The prince's visit was a poignant echo of his late grandparents, Queen Elizabeth II and Duke of Edinburgh, who laid a wreath at the tomb during their state visit to Poland in 1996. The prince, who arrived in a dark suit amid tight security, was greeted by dignitaries and a guard of honor which was made up of members of the Army, Navy, and Air Force. Now, French workers angry with President Emmanuel Macron and his plan to raise the pension age blocked access to a terminal at Paris main airport as part of a nationwide day of protest, forcing some travelers to get there on foot. At Rosie Charles de Gaulle Airport and across the country, white cat actions by small groups of protesters blocked roads and access to schools and universities, while protesters gathered with banners reading "No to the pension reform" near Toulouse in the southwest. Plumes of smoke were seen rising from burning piles of debris blocking traffic on a highway. Now, union activists also blocked the train tracks at Paris Gare de Lyon station. Now, opinion polls have long shown that a majority of voters were opposed to delaying retirement age by 2 years to 64. The future of humanity's lifeblood, water, is under threat worldwide. The UN Secretary General warned at the opening of a global body first major meeting on water resources in nearly half a century. A report by United Nations Water and UNESCO's release warned of too little or too much water in some places and contaminated water in other conditions. It said highlights the imminent risk of a global water crisis. It said with the global population increasing every day, an absolute number, there will be more and more people that don't have access to these services. The report also warned that water scarcity is becoming endemic and due to overconsumption and pollution, while global warming will increase seasonal water shortage in both areas with abundant water as well as those already strained.
Is in deep trouble. We are draining humanity's lifeblood through vampiric overconsumption and unsustainable use and evaporating it through global eating. We've broken the water cycle, destroyed ecosystems, and contaminated groundwater.
And on entertainment, David Adeleke, popularly known as Davido, has made headlines following the reported purchase of a luxurious Lamborghini whip worth 900 million naira. Now, the news spread fast on the internet after the car dealer posted a photo of the car and the customized plate number reading "E-Choke," the favorite slang of the Grammy-nominated artist. Now, despite its staggering price Tag Davido's supporters and fans have been quick to flood the comment section of the post with congratulatory messages. Well, a now viral video showed the moment at least 3 men ambushed a 26-year-old rapper whose real name is Daniel Hernandez inside the bathroom of a fitness gym. The controversial hip-hop star was beaten to pulp before the attackers fled the scene. Police and ambulance services were called to the scene of the incident after the manager of the facility heard the commotion. Now, Hernandez was thereafter taken to a local hospital in an ambulance. Now, according to Lazaro, 6ix9ine's attorney said the rapper tried his best to fight off the attackers, but there were too many of them. Now, Kevin Hart made a show-stopping arrival into Sydney's airport on board his private jet. Now, after smiles as he touched down in the city for his show at Kudos Bank Arena, he kept his airport outfit casual as he donned a black puffer coat and green cargo trouser. The funny man accessorized with his signature black baseball cap, and on his feet he kept it comfy with a pair of Nike trainers. The American star is very fond of Australia and made his debut down under with his What Now tour in 2016. Now, Nigeria's superstar Rema has made history as his hit single Calm Down becomes the highest charting African song on Billboard Hot 100. Now, report has it that superstar Rema has made history with his international hit single Calm Down remix featuring Selena Gomez after it appeared number 8 on the latest Billboard Hot 100. Now, Calm Down has now surpassed Wizkid's Essence remix featuring Thames and Justin Bieber as the highest charting African song on Billboard's Hot 100, as it continues to make its marks as one of the biggest crossover Afrobeat songs in history. And with Calm Down, we end News Live. Before we go, a quick look at our headlines for today. You've heard President Muhammadu Buhari signs copyright bill to protect authors and also toughen sanctions. And also, federal government approves contract for construction of barracks for the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Away from Nigeria, the United Kingdom collates names of Nigerians for visa ban over electoral crimes. Well, thank you, of course, for your time, and on behalf of the rest of the production team, my name is Philip Levin. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.